Welcome back, and this is part 2 of the maintenance or repair of the white heavy-duty 734 sewing machine. And in the last video I was talking about taking the bottom off of this to be able to get to the the inner workings of it. And it turns out all the inner workings are right here. They're not on the base like other machines that I've had. So plus 2 of the screws on the bottom were stripped, and I don't have an extractor that's actually working right now. What I didn't notice was that when I went to take this top plate, there's a top plate here. Great thing is you don't have to remove the needle plate to get inside it. There's one screw here and one screw in the back, and that's all I had to take out. So I unscrewed those. Got to take the needle out, of course, leave the presser foot up, and it just kind of wiggles off like this. And when I took this top piece off, the bobbin door fell open and it will not stay shut. Well, that's because they had the bobbin door taped to this on the top. So that's something that can be fixed. The little piece that actually allows it to shut is broken. So I'm going to look up in the manual to see what that piece looks like, if I can find it, or a service manual online, and then I can replicate that. I've been doing some parts that are not plastic, but sort of, kind of like a plastic. I've been able to take polymer clay and form those pieces, bake them in my toaster oven, and they work. And I'm not spending a bunch of money on parts because the little gasket or holder that holds the 2 spools, thread spools on top, they're $11 a piece on these old machines. So I've got some paper towels here for cleaning up my fingers. My fingers are already like pretty greasy dirty. So we're going to take a look on the inside of this, and this is what you may come across. I'm going to take the bobbin out, and I'm going to show you what I found just by removing this top piece. Just by taking this off, and I showed you the top part. I've actually put some grease, some synthetic grease. This Tri-Flow is fabulous. It's clear. It's a milky white. And you put it on the gear in there, and then you turn this around by hand several times to get it good and coated so it can run smoother. Okay. I'm going to have to reattach the motor part because there's a plate on the bottom of this that holds the motor. That's what this is here. That holds the motor in there. So the motor is attached to this. If I wanted to take the motor out, I would have to disengage the belt, which would be taking the side off again, and just take the whole thing out and then, adjust it if I needed to. But it's running really well, otherwise, and I had let it sit overnight with some the silicone, which is it's a dry lubricant. It's a silicone lubricant. It's dry lubricant, so it doesn't hurt the metal workings in there. Let me plug this in real quick so you can kind of see the difference between the last video and this one. That it's moving really well. It's like literally moving the way it should, and no hesitation whatsoever. Now it's just a matter of giving it some TLC. Do you remember before it was kind of hesitating, not doing anything? A little bit of dry lubrication is all it needed. And after that dry lubrication sat, of course I finished with a drop of oil where it needed, but it still needs cleaning. And I'm going to show you where it needs cleaning. I'm going to use this handy little brush here. It's got a little point on the other end in case I need to use it. So I'm going to illuminate this area for you. And I'm going to take the camera so you can actually see down inside. And you can see there's all kinds of dust here on the feed dogs. And there's old gear grease on the main shaft inside. So let's take a peek and see what we got. It's not unusual to find a bunch of lint right by the feed dogs there. You can see that right here. There's a big glop of, I call them dust bunnies. And then inside, down inside, you can see on the shaft there's some interference here with this, but there you can see the dried up gear grease, and it's dirty down in there. I mean, there's some cleaning, some house cleaning, and back up under here in this section of the machine is another gear. If you can see it back there. Alright, I'm going to point to it in a second. And I just noticed something in there while I was doing this. Can you see down on the bottom? There is some thread hanging out down there. I'm going to see if I can get the camera better angle for you. Right below, there's a bunch of thread hanging out in there. In amongst a bunch of dust and fibers and that sort of thing. So I'm going to see if I can't show you exactly. If I can get this flashlight to cooperate, we'll be doing great. Let's see. Okay. Right here on the side, right down here. Can you see this pointer? Where I'm pointing? Okay, where I am. Where's the pointer? Okay. So right here at the end of the flashlight, and you're not seeing that. There we go. Right in here is a bunch of fuzz. And I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but not really. I'll try a better angle here. It's kind of hard with this camera, but what comes out of here is disgusting. Now, can you see this? This right here? Look, there's a big old chunk. Yeah, there it is right there. It's right here. Right on the point of this. Oh, here we go. Right there is a big old chunk of fuzz. And that's gotta come out. So, let me show you. This is what's inside this machine. This big old chunk of fuzz. I just pulled it out of there. So, and there's more. So, I'm going to get in there, give it a nice cleaning. The bobbin case area doesn't look bad. Let me get some light on that so you can see. And so the bobbin casing looks pretty good. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can focus in on here. So it's actually pretty good. It's not greasy and it's not dried out, but inside where that gear is, behind the needle plate area, down below, as I'm trying to get you to be able to see, there's a needle plate. Oh, there's too much light. So let's take a little bit of light. Now you can see there's a gear. See the gear in the back? Right back in there, in the middle of the screen there. That is the gear that turns the bobbin casing. And it has absolutely, looks like not a single stitch of grease on it. And it should have someone there. So I'm going to take care of that. But I don't have to adjust the belt or anything like that. I just got to get the dirty stuff out. It's already been lubricated real well in the top portion of it. The bottom will be next. The only places that are going to need any kind of a drop of anything is that gear behind the needle plate back here. That needs gear grease. And where this main shaft in the center turns, right where it meets that next piece of metal, a drop of oil there. And then just clean the outside of it and find out if I can get the part to fix the bobbin door, or maybe even get another bobbin door, because bobbin doors aren't that expensive. But if I can fix this one, I will, because I like to keep the original parts together. I'm going to clean it all out, and then we will take this on a real test run. We'll we'll make a little project of something with it. Now the one thing that I do use in cleaning on my sewing machines is some isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%. It will dissipate a lot faster, and it also does a better job on parts that are kind of dirty. I use it to grab the little fuzz bunnies out of here. I do have also, and I do highly recommend, I'm probably going to grab my little vacuum system. There's for about $13, maybe $15 on Amazon, you can get what's called a sewing machine vacuum kit. And all the attachments are just like you have on a regular big sewing machine, except they're tiny. There's one that's real thin, like you get into crevices with, and you can do that in here too. So this is the white 734 heavy duty sewing machine that does a lot of different decorative stitches. It's got very easy to understand. I did download the manual for it just to see if it gives me that part number for right here for the bobbin door, because it won't stay shut. Even if I put the lid back on there, it won't stay shut unless I put a piece of tape on it, and I don't want to have to keep doing tape on there. So this was a good deal. This was actually a very good deal. I don't have to replace the belt. I don't have to replace anything. And the only thing broken about it is this little door, which is minor. And then I will show you how it can do some of these beautiful stitches once I get it all cleaned up. So I hope you've liked this kind of a short video on this machine. This was part 2. And you don't need to remove the bottom. When I started to take the bottom off, and then I realized I didn't need to. But what it did do, it allowed me to see where the motor was. There's this black metal plate underneath that the motor's attached to. And I could tell that if I needed to take that motor out, all I would need to do is make sure it's unplugged, the 4 screws in that plate are out, and disengage the belt so it will come out. But I don't need to do that with this motor because it's fine. So I'm going to give it a little vacuum and get it all spanky ready to go. Give it a few test runs on my own, and then I will show you what this wonderful machine can do, and I highly recommend it. And at the very least, give my video here just a little thumbs up, maybe a comment or two what you would like to see, or if you're anxious to see part 3, because I'm only doing 3 for this one. And whenever I use my camera in my videos, I'm using it for what is in the foreground. Whatever's in my background, that's not important. I'm using it to show you what I've got and what I'm sharing with you as in the description, and not anymore. So just letting you a little clue on that. Some people ask, like, well, why can't I see what's behind it? Well, you don't need to see what's behind it because this is the main attraction, right? And please, by all means, share my videos. And if you'd like to see more of the same and you want to be one of the first people to see it, when you subscribe, that's what happens. You actually become one of those first people that gets to see and get notified when I have a new video that comes up, so you can stay up to date with me. I hope you've enjoyed, again, and I hope that you just keep on sewing and come back and see me as often as you like. God bless.